Okay, this is my innovation project for engineering principles. So the first thing that I did was research some symptoms and difficulties that people with advanced arthritis face. I decided to focus on advanced arthritis for this project because my mom's aunt actually has advanced arthritis, and I've seen that up close, and I felt a little more comfortable working with that when I'm a little more familiar with it. So she specifically has issues with her hands. She has difficulties grasping things and stuff like that. So the stiffness and the loss of flexibility are definitely things that she struggles with. So the first brainstorm that I did was just me and my mom talking, and she is a hairstylist. So she wanted to go for something like some sort of brush or hair accessory. Those are kind of the first things that she thought of. But as we got to talking about her aunt, we remembered that when she came to Thanksgiving, she always brought her own silverware. So we knew that there were options out there. So then I decided, well, why don't we do some research? We'll see what some of the options are. How do they help? What are some different pros and cons of the designs that are already out there? And what could we do to improve those? So I was talking with the rest of my family, so my parents and my siblings, and we all did a little bit of research and talked about the pros and cons of some things that are out there. So you could buy a set. So these two options on the left are the sets that you can get. Obviously, they have wider handles. They're a little more comfortable to grip. You can also get these that have this angled option. But some difficulties with buying a set are that if you take them with you, like to Thanksgiving or out to eat or something like that, then you have dirty utensils. So you have to excuse yourself to go clean them, or you have to put dirty utensils in your pocket or your purse. So it is an issue. Now, you can also get an adapter for your hands. So this is a little grip, kind of like a pencil grip, but a little bigger, that would slide on to an existing utensil. And this is another one that I found, but it has very, very poor reviews. So I'm not sure that I would recommend purchasing this one, but all of these are anywhere between about $10 to $20 if you're looking for either a set or an adapter. So another benefit of an adapter is that it doesn't matter which hand you're using, but if you're using one of these adapters, you can't use that angled option. So what we decided that we thought would be a good idea would be to make the best of both worlds. So an adapter that still has that angled option. So this was the first thing that we drew up. We thought of a little handle that I drew, all of these, and maybe some sort of clasp or grip and a button or something like that that could grip the utensils. And we talked about the pros and cons of this design. So it would definitely be easier to pick up food if you're using this because it has the benefits of both the angle, but a difficulty would be that it is a higher cost and it's going to be more difficult to make and produce this way. So the second thing we talked about was maybe instead of this clasp, we could have some sort of sleeve that the utensil could slide into. So this would be sturdier for sure than just having one little clip. And we also, my sister mentioned to me that it looks a little bit like a grenade, so we would have to use some bright colors if we were to choose this one, or either one really. But this one is definitely more simple. It's definitely easier to see how this one could work with that support in the back as well. Then this was our final plan. So it has a handle piece on the bottom and a sleeve on the side. So the sleeve would be what the utensil would go in, and then this would be large enough that it would be comfortable to grip. So the pros of this one, we have that 45-degree angle. It has that extra stability in the back here, and we drew a second one up here. Some cons that we thought about, it wouldn't be possible to make this sleeve adjustable, so it would be one size fits most for utensils, but not necessarily all of them. And we weren't sure if adding this extra stability might make it more difficult to clean. So ideally, we would like to make this out of things like hard plastic, a silicone handle. This sleeve pocket made of silicone would be ideal. This would have to be some sort of hard plastic interior with a soft silicone outer for grip. And these support bars that go across, it would probably be helpful to have those as some sort of hard plastic attached to this sleeve. So we thought this was the best of both worlds. It's offering that option where you can have any utensil to slide in it, but you can still have that angled option if that's something that you need that would help you. So what I'm using instead of my ideal materials. So I do not have any access to hard plastic or silicone. So instead, for the handle, I decided to use a toilet paper tube. I thought that it fit in my hand pretty easily, and I thought that would be a good option. And then I used cardboard from a granola bar box. So that was thin. It was easy to bend it and shape it the way that I wanted. It's definitely not as flexible as I would like it, but it was very cheap and easy to acquire. This is my finished product. So over here on the left, we have the granola box cardboard, and the support that goes across is the same material. I didn't add a second support. I tried this method first, and it seemed to be enough support for the light materials that I have. And this is the toilet paper tube. And this is what it looks like when you're holding it. So the utensil goes into the sleeve right here, and then you have to grip the toilet paper tube. So this is my adaptive utensil attachment. So first I'm putting a spoon in the utensil part, and I'm holding on to the paper tube part. Spoon worked just fine. So then next I decided to try a fork, and the fork was a little more difficult. You had to apply a lot more pressure to pick something up. So definitely wouldn't work with something like if you wanted to eat a steak or something like that. Okay, so my spoon was very successful and my fork was somewhat successful. It was successful with the meal that I had, but I could tell that if I had something that was a little more difficult to apply the pressure to stab the fork into it, like a hard raw vegetable or something like that, it could be more difficult. So these are some of the Messler chapters that I thought were relevant in helping me with my project. It's definitely a working prototype, but it doesn't work as well as I would like it to. It's certainly not a finished product by any means. And I also did some brainstorming with my family, and there was a lot of sketching that went on as well. And it's definitely not a finished product. It's something that would still need to go through some more testing. So these are some suggested improvements for myself for making a final product. Obviously, materials are not ideal. I wish that this sleeve that I made out of the granola box cardboard was more flexible. My utensils here fit into it, but of course there's different utensils that exist that would all need to be able to fit into this. Something else is this support bar could be more stable And that could maybe help improve using a fork or something like that. Darker colors would hide stains better. And maybe this could be used for other things as well that I didn't test. Something like a toothbrush, or maybe some other kitchen tools like a whisk, or maybe even a spatula or something like that, if this had the range for that kind of flexibility. And that's it.